Hi, welcome to Slow Easy English. I'm Sil. The other day I received an email from a viewer, and the email read, "Dear Sil, thank you for all the great videos. They are very helpful." You're welcome. Also, I have trouble hearing the difference between can and can't when I hear native speakers talking. Can you make a video explaining the difference? Sincerely, from Sapporo. So this is my video explaining the difference between can and can't when we are saying it naturally. Now, if we pronounce these two words very clearly, then it's easy, right? Can, can't. Everyone can hear that can and can't are different because there's a T with can't, and you can hear that T very easily. However, when we are speaking naturally, then the pronunciation of these two words change. Okay, so let me give you an example. In the first two lines here, we have a conversation between two people, Mr. A and Mr. B. And now I will read this for you in a natural pronunciation, okay, using natural pronunciation. So listen carefully because it will be a little bit fast, not like this, not this slow, because when we speak this slowly, it's more normal to pronounce our words much more clearly. So I'm going to say this at a natural speed and with natural pronunciation. So Mr. A says, "Can you speak English?" "No, but I can speak French." "Can you speak English?" "No, but I can speak French." Now, I know it's strange because he's actually answering in English. I know. But actually, if you if you think that's funny, I get this a lot in Japan. I'll talk to somebody. I'll say, "Can you speak English?" And they say, "No, I don't speak English." In English. It's really funny. Anyway, so if you heard me say the word can, then good. You have no problem understanding that. The pronunciation for the word can changed. This is the clear pronunciation. It's got a K sound. By the way, this here is the phonetic alphabet. It's what we use to represent the sounds, okay, because English spelling changes for every word. So these sounds, this K sound is always a K sound, okay? So here we have K, and then A, and then N. And so can. Now, one thing I will explain later, because A and An don't actually sound the same. So I will explain that a little bit later here. But anyway, for now, just accept this, okay? This is the phonetic spelling for can, and this is the phonetic spelling for can't. You can see the first three symbols are the same. Here we have a T, so that's the main difference. However, in this conversation, then we have just the K sound and the N sound. So the pronunciation is not can, but it's can. It's very short, very quick, and it's not loud, okay? One more time. Can you speak English? Did you hear that? No, but I can speak French. Okay, so it's not can, it's can. It's a very quick, very fast, very short, and the volume is lower than the other words around it. So maybe it's difficult for you to hear. Okay, so listen carefully if you have trouble with that. Okay, now in the second dialogue here, we have A, B, C. So three people are speaking. Now, what are they talking about? doesn't matter. Just pay attention to the sounds, okay? Now, person A says, I can't believe it. Person B, I can't either. Person C, I can. Now here, notice that person C said, I can. And can was very easy to hear because it was pronounced the same way as up here as you would see in the dictionary. Okay, the pronunciation didn't change. I can. Okay, they could also, not in this case, but in a different case, you can also say I can. Okay, so in that case, it's even clearer, but it's the same pronunciation. Okay, so in this case, can was pronounced very clearly, so no problem. In this case, it was very quick, very short, so you have to pay attention. What I want to talk about here is A and B with the words can't. Now, here, of course, is very easy, right? Can't with the T, and that T is T. It's very easy to hear that. But in these two, can't are difficult to tell apart from can. And here's why, is because the T is not a clear T like here. Here it's a clear T, can't. But here, the T changes sound, and it actually, the pronunciation is different. It's not a T anymore. It's not just a fast T or a very soft T. It's not a T at all. It's a different sound. Okay, now, what is that sound? It's this. Here, in this sentence, if I say, I can't believe it, what happens is the tip of the tongue does not touch the top of the mouth. Here, right, you touch behind the teeth, you're touching your gums, and you make a T sound. But here, the tip of the tongue does not actually touch. So what we do is the air, okay, I can't believe it. Now, when there's no extra words after that, then this pronunciation does not happen. Okay, this only happens when there are other words, and not always the same, or not every word, only certain words. Okay, so that's one thing that you have to be careful of. But anyway, what happens in this case is that the air stopped right about here with the glottis. Okay, and the glottis is basically where your vocal cords are, and they open and they close, and they allow the air to go out, or it stops. So that's called a glottal stop, and this is how we write that. Okay, so here we have the K sound, the K sound, the A sound, and then the glottal stop. Okay, now here you notice I wrote an extra symbol, which is this, and this symbol on top of the A means that it is nasalized. Nasal. It's a nasal sound. And nasal means, of the nose or from the nose. So the sound, the A sound in this case, also has air coming out of your nose at the same time. So instead of A, it's eh. Okay? So here, I need to include this here because if I don't, and I read this, I go cat, cat, but instead it's can't. Okay? So my tongue doesn't touch the top. The only difference is I have the glottal stop stopping the air. Okay? Up here, I did not write this. I could, but in English, when there's an N or an M or the NG sound, that nasalizes the previous vowel. Okay? So I don't need to write it here. But here, I do need to write it because without this, it becomes cat. With it, you nasalize the A, and it becomes can't. Okay? Now, of course, pronouncing this without more words is strange. Okay, we don't do that. So we only use this when there are more words that follow. Okay, so we say, I can't believe it. Okay, I can't believe it. So if you notice, there's no T. It's just a glottal stop, and this part is nasalized. Can't. Okay. Now, this part is always nasalized. Even if there's no symbol here, it's still nasalized. But the N makes sure that you nasalize it in natural English pronunciation. Okay. So now you can better understand here. Okay. Listen for that sound, that can't. Okay. I can't believe it. If I said, I can believe it, see, maybe it's difficult, but there is a difference. Listen for that sound. I can't believe it. I can believe it. I can't believe it. I can believe it. There's a short pause in between for this. Okay. Now, one more way to pronounce the word can't is here, which is pronounced I can't either. Now, if you could hear it, then you'll notice that I didn't use this time. This time I used this, and that is called a flap or a tap. And when you do this, the tongue just touches the top of your mouth very quickly. Now, it's not a T and it's not a D. Oh, that makes me angry. I have seen many people teach this and say, for example, in English, the word butter, okay? But nobody says butter. We say butter. And then I've heard people explain, go, oh yeah, the T changes to a D. No, it doesn't change to a D. That's not a D. If it was a D, it would be butter. And it's not butter, it's butter. So you have butter, which is a super clear pronunciation for butter. And then we have butter, which I suppose, I've never used that word, but I suppose somebody, no, not a person, but maybe a plant that has many buds on it could be a butter. A butter, okay. I don't know. But anyway, the pronunciation for butter is normally butter in North American English, okay? Now, I just want you to be clear, it's not a T anymore, it changed, and it did not change to a D, it changed to this, a tap or a flap, whatever. Both are okay in this case. Okay, so here we have, I can't either. If you listen very carefully, I'll say it more slowly. I can't either. I can't either. Did you hear it? Should be easy enough to hear, but in normal fast speech it may be a little bit difficult. I can't either. I can't either. Okay, so this is what you have to listen to. Okay, listen for. All right. Now there's one more thing. I didn't write this yet, but if I say this, okay, just this, I can. Here I have more words following. In this case, the T, I would pronounce the T, but here I pronounced it very clearly for you. I said can't, can't. And at the very end, you can hear t, t. I'm releasing the T, right? My tongue is touching, and then I release it, and a little bit of air comes out, and I got the T. So you hear the T very clearly. However, a lot of native speakers would not say it that way normally. That's too clear. What we would say is, I can't. I can't. So did I say, I can't, or I can? Which one? Here, I said, I can't, and the pronunciation for that, it sounds similar to this, but it's not. It's a little bit different. What's happening is that the T, when I pronounce it this way, the T is not released. So I say can't, and then my T comes up, my tongue comes up to pronounce the T sound, but does not release. Here, it really can't. Can't. Here, can. That's it. Just stops right there. And we often, many words that finish with the sound T are pronounced that way. Okay? A baseball bat. Okay, so I pronounced the T, and then you saw my lips close. There was no sound when my lips closed. Okay, that was, I already pronounced the word, and I just closed my lips because I'm not saying anything more. So don't mistake it. It's not an M, it's not a B, it's a baseball bat. Okay, I can't. So in this case, the T is unreleased. Okay, so you have 4 different sounds for the letter, or for the sound of T. For the same, what should be the same basic sound, T, can be pronounced 4 different ways. Can't. Can't. Now again, can't. I don't pronounce this way unless I follow with more words. I can't believe it. I can't go. Okay? In that case, we stop here. Here, I can't either. This changes to a flap, just a very, I can't either. Like butter and better and later and many other words using that flap sound or tap sound. Okay? And then here in this case, the T is not released. I can't. Okay? So these are the 4 different pronunciations of the word can't. Okay? And the word can is normally pronounced 2 ways. Can and can. Just can. Okay? So, if you would like help on how to pronounce these yourself, this video cannot really help you learn to pronounce much better. You might try it and you might improve a little bit, but the video that you're watching cannot hear you, and it can't tell you, oh yes, that's right, no, that's wrong, that's a little different. The video can't help you. The video can give you an explanation, and you can try to improve, but if you really want to speak more like a native, you need to find a teacher who knows how to teach this stuff. I'm one. But if you don't want me to teach this to you, then find someone who can. And they will need some training and some education in linguistics. Okay? If I have a stomach ache, I don't go and ask a car mechanic to fix me. I go to a doctor. So don't go to a car mechanic, to fix your stomach ache. Someone who understands how to explain linguistically, who understands linguistics and knows how to explain this, will be able to help you. Someone who's never studied this, they may be able to do a great job at something else, but probably not so well at teaching pronunciation. Okay? So anyway, whether it's me or somebody else, find a teacher who knows linguistics and phonetics, which is sounds basically, the study of sounds, and they will be able to teach you much better than someone who has never studied this, because native speakers, we don't know what we're doing until we study it. Like you probably never thought about what you're doing with your mouth and your tongue and where's the air stuff. So it's the same thing. Anyway, so this video is mainly to help you understand the difference when you're listening. Okay? Don't depend on this video too much for actually making these sounds. You can try, and maybe you can do very well. Maybe you can do very well. So try it. But mainly these videos, any pronunciation video, is mainly for helping you understand the difference. So listen for 4 different pronunciations of can't and 2 different pronunciations of can, and you might be able to understand better. And also remember that, not just can't, but many words that finish with T will be pronounced similarly, kind of, in the same type of way. So, so good luck, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like and subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications of all my future videos. And tell your friends on Facebook and on Twitter, and that's it. So thank you for joining me, and I hope this was helpful for you. And let me know. Leave some comments. All right. So I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you, and bye-bye.